Godzilla is a monster. Digimon are monsters. So what would happen if Godzilla from the Legendary series was a Digimon? In this video, we will be discussing exactly how strong Legendary Godzilla would be within the digital world, if he would be a threat to the structure at all, and what level I would personally assign him as a Digimon. For some context, we will be ignoring most of the digital world's cosmology because if we don't, Legendary Godzilla would be fodder to the lowest tiers in the digital world, as Goji's universe is 3D in construction, and I want this video to be entertaining. So we will be working under the least generous interpretation of the adventure digital world, that being that it is simply a parallel to the human universe. This will be similar to how I scaled my original War Greymon video and in my Digimon vs Pokemon video. Otherwise, the video would be extremely short and boring. Let's start off with battle IQ. Starting off, of course, we have to talk about the big lizard himself, and let me tell you, he is impressive. He's over 252 million years old and has spent his entire life fighting to remain the dominant titan on Earth. Of course, we haven't seen most of these fights, but it's safe to assume that Goji has a lot of experience. We see this displayed pretty handily in Godzilla 2014. While in this movie we may have only seen a little bit of Goji compared to the future entries, the fight between the Mutos and Goji show that not only is this iteration of the monster merciless, he is also well versed in fighting more than one powerful combatant at a time. The flying male and female Muto essentially teamed up on Goji, and our favorite movie lizard was able to discern that his best path was to take out the weaker male Muto using an unexpected attack with his tail before moving on to fight the young female Muto one-on-one. This clearly speaks to Goji's battle intelligence, and while he may not be a genius by any means, he clearly knows what he's doing in a fight. We see this further when he first encounters Kong on the ship that's transporting him to the US from Kong Island. Goji uses his weight to take Kong into the water, both where Goji and we know he is the dominant force. Even when fighting on land, we see Goji adapt to Kong using a weapon that hard counters Goji's strongest attack, the atomic breath. Real quick, I wanted to interject here and say thank you all so much for watching, and I apologize for the wait on new videos from me. I've been going through a lot in the back end of my life, in my personal life, but I just wanted to say thank you all so much. You're all awesome. Thank you all for your support, and it's awesome to be back. Be sure to send that like button back to its Digi-Egg form by smashing it as hard as you can if you like this topic. Now let's get back to the video. When it comes to AP, Legendary Godzilla has quite a few feats we can talk about. The first one I would like to speak on is his fight with Ghidorah. We know that Ghidorah was able to casually create massive storms throughout the entire world. Keep in mind, Ghidorah is doing this casually, just by leaking energy as he's flying around. This feat is easily calqued to Multi-Continental. Now let's take a look at Burning Goji, because that's who ultimately takes Ghidorah out in the end. We see Burning Godzilla in Godzilla King of the Monsters create a pulse that was able to completely disperse Ghidorah's storms and proceed to push and defeat Ghidorah in a brutal fashion once again. This would clearly put Burning Goji in the Multi-Continental ranges. Now, I hear you all chattering on your keyboards, but Panda, that's Burning Goji. He's powered up by Mothra's sacrifice. Well, this isn't the first time that he's fought Ghidorah. Not only did he have a battle with him in the restraints of the movie, but we know the reason Ghidorah was frozen in Antarctica is because he lost to Goji in one-on-one combat at the entrance of the Hollow Earth, and Goji left him there to freeze. The only reason Goji had so much trouble against Ghidorah in their last fight is due to Ghidorah being significantly powered up while absorbing electricity. We also see in Godzilla vs Kong against Mechagodzilla, Goji is able to beam struggle for a good while before being overpowered by Mechagodzilla. But why does that matter when it comes to Ghidorah? Because Mechagodzilla was not only specifically designed to help the humans fight against Goji, but was created with Ghidorah's DNA, meaning it's very easy to assume Mechagodzilla should at least be relative if not stronger than Ghidorah. And Goji, while stated to be at about 50% of his full power post the 12-hour battle with Kong, was able to resist Mechagodzilla's breath attack with his own atomic breath. Based on what we saw a more battle-ready Goji do just to get Kong's attention from Hollow Earth by blasting a hole through the crust of the planet, it's safe to assume a full power atomic breath could either match or even slightly overpower Mechagodzilla's. We can go even further with this by looking at the Godzilla Awakening comic, where we learn that Goji was able to survive a near direct hit from an asteroid that caused the Permian extinction in this universe. And based on how it's portrayed in the comic, Godzilla not only took little to no damage, the only reason he went into hibernation is because the asteroid ruined the atmospheric radiation, forcing the existing Titans to search for it near the hollow Earth or bottom of the ocean, sending them into hibernation. Keep in mind the Permian impact wiped out upwards of 90% of all life and most trees. The Shimura Titan also seems to have survived the impact. What does all that mean, Panda? I hear you ask. Well, not only was Goji able to beat the Shimura Titan, who also survived this multi-continental destruction event, Mechagodzilla came closer to killing Goji with a single breath attack, being able to pass through his durability where the asteroid couldn't. And this was a stronger Goji from the one we're seeing in the Awakening comics. As we know, Goji has gotten stronger through his fights due to Mothra's sacrifice even after the burning form wore off. This would mean that Mechagodzilla sits in the high range of multi-continental along with Ghidorah due to bypassing Goji's durability and due to a full power Goji being relative to, if not stronger than, both of them base to base. Goji 2 would easily scale to multi-continental AP. So if we took this version of Goji and dropped him in the digital world, how would he fare? What level of Digimon would he be? Could anyone stop him? Well, the short answer is yes, but let's dive into it. Firstly, let's discern what level Goji would be if he were a Digimon. We're going to skip over baby/in training levels and start with examining the average rookie level Digimon. Now, I know that I said we'd be focusing on the Adventure digital world, but due to the rookie level Digimon in Adventure having relatively few feats that directly show their AP, I'm going to have to bring up Tamers once again. In Tamers, we see a freshly born Guilmon who happens to see a rat running on a pipe proceed to completely vaporize a wall. Now, at face value, this is a simple wall level feat. But because he vaporized the wall rather than fractured it, you can easily upscale this to building level if not higher. This should apply to other mid to high tier rookies like Tai's Agumon, as Guilmon, like I mentioned before, was just born, and a well trained and experienced rookie Digimon should scale to this version of Guilmon pretty simply. We can confirm this with Digimon Adventure Tri. After seeing the damage caused by Kuwagamon, Agumon was able to push him back, at least temporarily, without evolving. Even though Agumon may be weaker than Kuwagamon, being able to push him back at all supports building level AP. While this is impressive for a rookie, we know Goji definitely stands above that. So let's move on to champion level. Looking at champion level Digimon at face value, it's easy to assume they all sit in a clean city level of destruction, going back to Kuwagamon casually causing mass destruction without really even trying. But there is more impressive Digimon to take a look at, and that would be the first main villain, Devimon. Devimon, in my opinion, has some of the most impressive feats as a champion next to Angemon. We see in the first season of Adventure, Devimon is able to casually break apart File Island towards the end of the arc, causing all the Digidestined to split up. We don't really have a specific size for File Island, but we do know it's very big, as the mountain on File Island is roughly 10 kilometers taller than Mount Everest, so it's safe to put this feat at Large Island as he's able to fracture the entire island. Again, we see an instance where Goji would outscale that level of Digimon. Like I mentioned before, we have seen Goji perform a Large Island feat relatively casually when blasting his atomic breath to get Kong's attention for another fight. Goji should be able to fight against high-tier champions with no real issues. Perfect level is where I think we start to get a bit contentious, as there is a massive jump in overall power when we're talking about champion versus perfect level. We see Mega Kabuterimon in his first appearance fight against Vadamon, who had created the pocket dimension they were fighting in. This pocket dimension has a few interpretations, such as galaxy due to the shape, but this would be incorrect and a false equivalency. Not only is it stated in the series to be universal in size, it's also stated in outside media such as databooks that clearly state this pocket dimension is a universe, or universal in size. Why does this matter? Because Mega Kabuterimon was able to outright destroy this pocket dimension to conclude his battle against Vadamon. This would mean that Mega Kabuterimon and everyone who scales to him, this includes all of the Digidestined Digimon as well as Mon like Myotismon, Etamon, and Waymon, should scale to the Uni ranges. So with the perfect levels sitting cleanly at the universal ranges of AP and Legendary Godzilla sitting at the AP of around multi-continental, it's clear to say that he stops here. With this, Goji should sit in either the highest tier of champion or the lowest end of perfect. And no, he certainly would not be a threat to the digital world. Thank you all so much for watching and have a wonderful day.